big waves, big mountains and big motorsport. We are in Cape Town for round 12 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, the only world FIA event that takes place in sub-Saharan Africa. Now we know that the championship has been decided, we have a winner, but who's going to be second place? There's plenty to play for, including pride. Join us for the grand finale here in South Africa. Well, that was a very special moment yesterday. We had a beautiful, heartwarming rendition of the South African national anthem there from the Dunoon Children's Choir from one of the townships just outside Killarney International Raceway. Hello and welcome to round 12 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship here just outside Cape Town in South Africa. And this is the last time that as the pre-grid assembles behind us, we will see all of these drivers in these cars in this formation. So it's quite a special day, the very last day of the season. Thanks for joining us to tell us where you're watching from, and if there are any problems with what you're watching at the moment, we apologize. We're trying to sort out all our technical issues, but right now you're going to see qualifying 3 live. So tell us where you're watching from and who you want to see win today. And we've got qualifying 4 coming up later, and then of course the big semi-finals and the final. So you're in the right place to watch some amazing rallycross action for the last time this season. So in a moment we'll get a chance to speak to some of these drivers as they prepare to launch into this spectacular circuit. But first of all, let's bring you bang up to speed with what happened in qualifying 1 and 2 yesterday.
The longest break in the season came to an end in style in South Africa. Air displays, sunshine, big crowds, and turn 1 did not disappoint. Solberg and Ekstrom were first to put on a show for the crowd. Solberg inside, kicking up the dirt. Ekstrom trying to go around the outside, and a hungry Kevin Eriksson waiting to pick up the pieces. Ekstrom edged Eriksson off the jump, but couldn't challenge Solberg for the win, and fastest time in Q1 so far. The world champion was looking for a strong start, chasing his 11th win of the year, but lost out to Scheider and Loeb in the first corner. He retook Scheider with a strong move at the chicane, looking unusually ragged later in the lap. In the end, an equally unusual technical issue pitched him into a spin over the jump, leaving Loeb unchallenged to go fastest overall, with Christopherson at the opposite end of the timesheet. The final race of Q1 proved the Peugeots have got great pace in Africa. Timmy Hansen was absolutely flying, first matching and then beating his teammate's fastest lap of the day, but a tiny mistake on the Joker gave Q1 to Loeb by just a 1/10 of a second. Q2 started with a masterclass from Christopherson. A brilliant start, followed by a succession of fast laps to set a time that would undoubtedly be hard to match. Matthias Ekstrom didn't have it so easy at the start of his race, having to fight hard for the all-important hole shot in the dust. Once he'd secured the lead, he didn't look back. And if he had, he'd have seen Timos Yarnov struggling with a puncture that saw him flip the wall over the jump. Ekstrom's race win saw him P2 with 1 race to go. The final race of day 1 saw what Solberg himself described as a magic start to lead the field. Behind him, Loeb was having a hard time matching his own Q1 pace, with Bacra taking full advantage. Solberg had a clear run to the flag, but couldn't quite match his teammate, while Loeb's speed and consistency saw him take the overnight TQ.
First place at the moment, but it's so close between the 5 first, because I won a hit, but I was 6th only in the second one, so the battle is on. I think it's really intense. We saw some very close performance between the Volkswagen, the Audis and the Peugeot, so at the moment nothing is done, but tomorrow I will have a pole position again to start the day, so hopefully I can use it on the right way and try to do a good result again.
Sebastian Loeb then top of the table overnight at the final round of 2018 from Solberg, Timmy Hansen, Baccarat and Ekstrom still close together in that battle for second. Kristoffersen, Kevin Hansen and Yannis Baumanis. Currently just inside the semi-finals, Markland, Gronholm, Schiesschritt and Eriksson. Everyone else with work to do tomorrow.
So that's where we stand coming into Sunday here in South Africa, and I've got Timo Scheider with me. Now, Timo, you had a really good result here last year. Talk us through this circuit and what it takes to do well here.
Well, last year it went from the very first moment pretty well. So and this event now, it's a bit different car, different circumstances. But I still love the track because the track has some special corners where you have like two different lines. For example, like turn one, you have a wide entrance, but then it tightens up towards the end of the apex. So this is a possibility to dive in probably. So I like those corners, and yeah, the gravel is not too difficult, but it's also special. So that's why I love Cape Town.
And for you personally, you've done a mixed campaign this season. How do you set yourself up for today's racing?
Well, the team's goal and my goal is for sure to make it to the semis first of all, and then everything can happen. We have still some tires left, and we had a decent warm-up this morning. So I'm looking forward to send it all now in Q3 and 4.
And just a word about Johan Kristoffersen, as someone who's won championships before yourself. Just give us a sense of how big it is for someone in an FIA World Championship to dominate the way that he has, and how difficult it is to compete against that.
Well, what he just showed this season especially is just outstanding, and for sure it needs the whole team and the package behind, but compare even to Petter, and Petter is a pretty good driver. He just did not any mistake. He just is always there. Even he missed one free practice or something, he's just there after that. So that's quite impressive, I have to say. So I can just say well done, Mr. World Champion, but he deserved it big time.
And for you personally, what would you get into the semi-finals today? A podium would be amazing, but I think everyone is really in for a big last day at school fight today.
Yeah, so it's the last day in school, like you just said, so we will give it all. And I saw some smiling faces already, because we all know it's just probably the last time sending it to turn one. So it will be fun, I'm sure.
Well, good luck, and it'll be great to watch. Thank you very much. And we're all ready for that. It's going to be very exciting action, and getting excited in the commentary booth should be Marius Roberts and Andrew Coley.
Certainly am excited. I like the fact that Timo said send it, going to send it for the last time, about 3-4 times during that. Incredible backdrop here. I can see through my door there at the side of the commentary box, Table Mountain. Yeah, this is just such a beautiful place. It's hot today. I think the wind is a little bit less. Marius, we've actually seen during free practice lap times which are incredibly quick, but there's been a change to turn one which might account for that.
Big change. The guys put bollards in place to obviously prevent the guys from cutting the corner, but you know, you give a rallycross driver an inch, he's going to take a yard, and they've actually dug out on the inside of the curb. So they put cement in overnight, and they've brought a stack of tires, put that on the inside of turn one to prevent the guys from cutting, because they literally ripped up concrete onto the circuit yesterday.
50-year-old curbs as well, which never goes down that well. So
unbelievable.
The curbs are being preserved, but most importantly, of course, that now means they're not dragging gravel onto the line. So where they're not able to take the cut, you'd think it might be slower. Actually, what we've got now is clean tarmac, so the cars are carrying a little bit more pace through turn one, and we've seen some mega lap times.
But now it starts thinking about that outside option. If there's no dirt on the outside, like yesterday, now maybe that is going to work to their advantage as well. Something for the drivers to think about, but very, very quick this morning.
All right, looking forward to it. Let's get down and take a look at the grid, shall we, for the first race on Sunday. So here we go then. Timosyanov on the inside, Gregoire de Moustier in the middle, and Oliver Bennett next to him. Now, nice little story for you about Bennett. Bennett yesterday had a seized turbo. You can see these guys have all put new tyres on that, of course, because they're desperately trying to make it through to the semis. So yeah, seized turbo for Bennett meant he wouldn't have been able to compete today, so they didn't have a spare, and the GRX team, Gronholm RX, have stepped in and loaned him a turbo for the rest of the weekend. So great to see that the spirit of competition is alive and well in a World Championship paddock, let's not forget. There is that beautiful view down to turn one. That is quite a distraction, I think, even for World Championship drivers. So Timosyanov on the inside yesterday had a couple of great starts. Let's see what he can do here in Q3. We're underway. Great reaction time from Timosyanov, 0.4. He did a 0.3 yesterday. Hooks that car up nicely, and now up towards turn one. De Moustier going to try and go around the outside. How wide is he going to go? A little bit too wide. I'll tell you what though, Marius, a lot less duft as Bennett gets up the inside. De Moustier, they're going to be on the inside for the left. What's going to happen is they go through the curb, side by side. or Bennett manages to stay out of the wall, but that's all gone Timosjanov's way.
Look, that is also very, very tricky through that turn 3. Side by side doesn't really work because you get very, very close to that barrier before the jump. But that's exactly...
Dumustier just got back past Bennett again. Bennett getting close to him. Yeah, Bennett's got close to him.
But this is what Tim has needed to do because he's had a relatively quiet day yesterday. Like you said, great start, but getting mugged into the turns. So he needs some catching up to do. And it's actually been a quiet day yesterday for GRX in general.
Yeah, Timmer was in P15.
Oh, we've got a spin. Ollie's gone and lost it. But listen, also, he hasn't had any track time really at all. So that is him exiting the joker lap on the merge.
That's a fair point. Yeah, he lost a lot of time yesterday. Timosjanov was P15 overnight. Niklas Gronholm P10.
And I'm just
Timmer needs to do a bit of work here to get his way back up. Yes, he did have a P9, but then had a P16, of course, with that puncture. So Timmer's had the pace, but he now desperately needs a good run. We'd love to see the Russian making through to the semis.
And having a look at the timing now this morning, 41.7s. The top runners were doing mid-40s. So he's got some real pace to catch up.
What did Timmy do in practice? It was super
40.2.
Yeah, now yesterday's best lap time, let me
think about
40.1.
40.1.
Well, yeah, so he's only a 10th off, which is absolutely outrageous, considering, don't forget, he'd be on used tyres during free practice, and that's what we're saying about this change. In fact, you can see there, Dumustier coming past. It's a huge double bale of tyres, which is on the inside of turn 1, Marius, and the only problem there, of course, is if you get squeezed, there is now something solid to hit.
But last year, if you remember, those bales were further before the corner, more at the braking point. So I think that's where that becomes a concern. Now it's actually mid the turning point. So I think you find from getting squeezed, just prevents the guys from putting their car there from a cut perspective.
Nicely done by Dumustier down at the bottom hairpin. Still a bit of dust about today, as we would expect in these hot, dry conditions. Timosjanov on a big push, 41.1. That's a little, 40.8. Yeah,
really good, really
so
good time.
That's getting back down towards it. Well,
but you know what? He has, you said, good pace shown. But in the 5-car race, that's where he seems to have lost out. Maybe being too cautious, but he certainly got his foot down on the right pedal today.
Well, yesterday, say rear left punch for Timmer, which then pitched him into the wall as he came up over the jump. But on better form today.
But a great story with Oliver Bennett, you know, because he has a privateer. He's made a big effort to get down to Cape Town, and great to see the team working to get him out on the track so he can at least have some fun. But having big damage to the back of his car, obviously getting it wrong on the exit.
Timosjanov heading down towards the finish line. Let's see what the target time is this morning for everybody else. Okay, so 2:53.2 for Timosjanov. Now compared to yesterday, Bennett's still out there on track a little way back. It's actually a pretty decent time.
It's a very good time.
Yeah, would have seen him about, sort of 5th in Q1, Q2 as well. So Tim has done a good time, but as we say, we think the track is a bit faster today, and of course we've got the quick guys still to come.
But Andrew, have a look at turn 1. There's absolutely no dirt down, and we've done a whole 4-lap race.
Indeed. It's a difficult thing to do. Timosjanov then taking the first race in Q3, 2:53.2, Dumustier and Bennett.
Timosjanov taking the win on a 2:53.227 overall race time.
So another look at the start then. Timosjanov hooking up really nicely on the run down to turn 1. Dumustier tried to go around the outside, and if you compare that to yesterday, Morris, we've been saying it a lot, but there's a lot less dust on the outside line.
He would never have even thought about going there based on yesterday's conditions. But remember, it is the first race, so the circuit is going to be in the best conditions. So this is the chance for him to set up their best lap times. Where did Ollie get it wrong?
He got it wrong on the exit, just slightly too early, and I think then because the tyre bell was on the outside there, a bit of object fixation around. So,
but that's just lack of track time.
Yeah,
really.
you said, I mean, you know, if you think he missed all of Q1, all of Q2, basically he's had 12 laps. You know, the other guys are at least 8 laps ahead of that.
So
but
tough.
Good to see him back out, and of course that is thanks to the team which won this first race, Timosjanov's team, GRX, lending Bennett a turbo, and that's enabled the Mini to be back out today. So great to see that happening, I say, at a World Championship level. Table Mountain in the background as we line up our next set of cars to head down towards the first corner. 5 cars lining up for this. 2 more just to do their tyre warm. You can see where the circuit was widened here at Killarney International Raceway to meet the width requirements for an FIA World Rallycross Championship track. That is Rennie Munich reversing his car back so that he can get a good tyre clean with this fantastic camera up and over the start. And here he comes up to the line, and he'll line it up as close as he can to that jump start sensor. So let's take a look at the grid then for Q3 race 2. Cars all up and good to go. Here's the lineup. Baumanis on the inside, Kevin Eriksson and Robin Larsen, teammates side by side. Eriksson looked just in 12th, Larsen just out in 14th. Baumanis having a good weekend in 8th, and you can see he's confident. He's left the old tyres on the car. That's gone on going for new boots in P10. Rennie Munich, new tyres on the outside in P16. Marshall to lead the grid, then the cars. There's the whistle. Nicely organised, and you'll see the marshal now just note to each of the drivers to get ready for the launch. Revs up a bit early for a few people there. Now you hear the revs rise when the ready to race light comes on. Look for the green. Oh, great start by Gronholm. So Gronholm's got a really good start, hooked up, but Eriksson on the inside of him too. Gronholm trying to come around the outside, shut the door on them. Up the inside, Baumanis. Super sideways, Larsen goes to the outside line, smokes the tyres up, finds some grip, and Larsen all the way around the outside to take the whole shot.
That is fantastic action into turn 1, just what we wanted to see, and great car control by Larsen. We had a great start by Nicholas Gronholm. He needs a new rubber because he's been very slow this weekend, but that is sideways action. Larsen showing the guys the way.
Coming from completely from out of the battle, you have Baumanis coming up the inside of Gronholm. We're looking at Eriksson as well, and Larsen's done exactly what we said he'd be able to do with those better conditions. Eriksson's gone joker with Munich as well, so Larsen leads this one. He's under huge pressure. Baumanis right up underneath the back of Larsen. He needs to find a way past. We know Baumanis has got good pace here, but passing is not going to be that easy. Baumanis a nose up the inside into turn 1. Larsen runs a bit wide. Baumanis slots up the inside in the start machine. Surely he'll go late on the brakes. Oh, contact between the two. He still holds on to the position. This is a great race.
But Andrew, that is what is so great. You can shut the door through corner 2 and into 3 and line yourself up for the jump. And Baumanis had pace yesterday, showing it again, but great driving by Larsen.
So Eriksson here is already on the back of this pack. These guys are holding each other up. Baumanis goes joker, but I think he's going to be too late. I think Eriksson's going to get him. That one lap behind Larsen has cost him.
That is a great call by the spotters, sending him in. Baumanis needs a bit of clean time, but he needs to get out.
Got him.
And he's got, oh man,
Eriksson's
this is not
got
what
him.
he needed.
Exactly, so Eriksson's got Baumanis. Eriksson's been quick to be fair, but we know Yannis is having a really good weekend. Gronholm now bottled up behind Larsen. So Larsen this year, some of his social media posts have proved I don't think he's been having the best time. He is such a spectacular driver though. It's been a pleasure to have him back in the World Rallycross Championship. Look how sideways he is. It's maximum attack everywhere.
And let's remember, he's running on old rubber, and behind him, Nicholas Gronholm has got the new shoes on, and he's still being able to hold him off. So this is fantastic driving by Larsen. Looks like they've woken up with Sunday ready to race.
Gronholm's going to have to go joker shortly, and he doesn't. Gronholm waits, so Gronholm does go. Gronholm does go. It's so I'm looking at Baumanis stuck behind. So we've got the two OMSE cars with cars up behind them.
Baumanis and oh, look how close that is.
Baumanis trying to have a look. So Gronholm has managed to get past Baumanis. How much is this going to hurt their times though, Morris? Because remember, we're racing for time here.
Eriksson has been holding up big time Baumanis, so he's really lost out there, and now he's lost another place to Gronholm from 2nd to 4th. Not good.
Eriksson looking like he's going to get his teammate Larsen by 1.1 seconds. Larsen holding on to the last lap. Rennie Munich trying to make a pass on Yannis Baumanis in the background. Look there, side by side. Munich trying to go around the outside. Has Baumanis got a problem? I think he has. Yeah, Baumanis has dropped off the back. Here we go, they're coming round for the merge. Teammates at the merge on the inside. Eriksson on the outside. Larsen's going to carry good speed, but Eriksson's going to get it. It's going to be between Larsen and Gronholm for P2. Larsen's up the inside, shuts the door emphatically in Gronholm's face. Eriksson's going to take this one. It's a 1-2 for OMSE. Gronholm coming through for P3, and that is a great qualifying race. It's not the best time, but I don't care. They will.
No, listen, that is what we've come to watch. Unbelievable. What a way to start the morning. Is it only 10 o'clock?
Wakey. Great stuff. But yeah, okay, so first of all, Baumanis has parked the car in turn 1. From the commentary position, Baumanis has parked the car in turn 1. So we thought he had some sort of an issue. There it is.
I don't know.
He's out of the car. Crowd really enjoyed that. Baumanis, okay, I can't see any smoke or anything. He's staying in the car. Okay, he's out now. Kevin Eriksson takes it from Robin Larsen. Gronholm, Munich and Baumanis. Gronholm and Baumanis held up just a little bit there by the OMSE cars, but great tactics by Eriksson and Larsen to manage to take the 1-2. However, you can see from the times there that Timo Timoziano is still at the top of Q3. Talk us through this start, Marius.
What an amazing start, because actually Nicholas Gronholm got a great launch, but the two teammates working together for OMSI coming to close the door, look at the contact, and Larson said, thank you, you guys fight for it, I'm going to show you some cool driving skills around the outside.
He backed out of the first corner battle on the brakes. What was interesting to me, he backed right out of it, stuck in behind, and then goes, actually, do you know what, I'll have a look.
But that is now, with that clean conditions on the outside, you're able to confidently put your car on that outside line through turn 1 and line yourself up for turn 2. But great work. But this Larson did so well. Look how defensively he shut the door here on Baumanis. And Baumanis got held up here, and that is where his race went. Backwards, backwards, backwards.
Tricky for those guys, because obviously if you joker early, you stand a chance of meeting the slower guys in your quali race. That's, of course, why you want to be in with the quick guys, because you can joker when you want. You're unlikely to catch the pack. But Ericsson jokering early, managing to catch up with the pack very early in the race, and that, of course, put him in pole position. Basically, when everybody else jokered, he took the front of the pack. Great drive, Kevin Ericsson.
Kevin, that was a great race to watch, and it looked like the early joker strategy was the perfect call.
Yeah, it worked out good. We still lack the speed, but we're working on it, taking step by step. It's a nice way to get a race win, but we still need a bit more speed to be really in the game in the later stages.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kevin Ericsson saying they need just a little bit more pace later in the, in the later stages. He's talking semi-finals and finals, but really they need a little bit more pace everywhere. They came with a different design, so the car's got laid down dampers. So the dampers normally are from the suspension into the top of the chassis, and they actually lay down in the chassis and these like a cantilever system. It came from the RX2 car, which Kevin Ericsson really enjoyed driving. I can't say it's that one thing, but they came with this new car. I think it's the Mark 8 Fiesta. What are we on now with Fiestas? But unfortunately, it's just not quite on the pace.
It hasn't been, but at the end of the day, good to see them finishing their year with that hunger. We know they're not around for next year.
Kevin and Robin are super hungry, aren't they?
But for me, the most exciting thing is how much turn 1 has changed. Have a look. We've had 2 runs.
Yeah.
The track is clean. Guys now with confidence can attack that outside line because everyone's fighting for the inside. And if you're clever enough, wow, it works.
We should also see that through the course of the racing. So yesterday, Petter was saying in the press conference last night, if you're in one of those later races, it's a bit like doing a tarmac rally. The more cars go through, if you come to a second run, there's more dirt in the road, so it becomes impossible to match the previous times. Now, with that tarmac corner not being covered in dirt, we should see the later races able potentially to go the same speed or faster.
I think this has been a great move by them to obviously fix that inside of the turn, because at the end of the day, you want to see competitive racing. The faster guys, you want them to have the best opportunity at it.
Absolutely.
But the most exciting thing for me is that it just gives them something else to think about. Yesterday, it was only the inside line that was working. Now today, Larson's just shown you, amazing. Have a look. Look how clean that surface is.
Yeah, you can see Baumanis' car being recovered. But you can see there's absolutely no dirt. But also the wind, to me, Marius, seems different from yesterday, and that was definitely carrying some dust to the outside line too.
Look, what is happening, a southeast is still blowing, but it's backed off big time, and that's great for the spectators, probably not so good for the drivers, because you're going to now be dealing with dust on your windshield.
There are some of the spectators. This event was sold out really early in the year, apparently. Somebody said to me yesterday it was sold out in February. I don't know how accurate that was, but either way, it's good to see so many people here. You guys, of course, just coming into summertime, while us Europeans are heading in for a few months of misery.
Look, I think a few Europeans who've come down to support World Rallycross are going to be going back with a very different complexion. Red faces, because it was a fantastic day yesterday. And Andrew, we saw the crowds in front of our commentary box. Amazing.
There's been some epic sunglass marks. Let's put it that way.
Panda,
One-sided
panda
ones, yeah. David Mansfield, I'm talking about you. He's the spot of a GCK, best sunglass mark of the weekend. Right, here we go then. We've got some cars lining up. We're going to go racing again. I wonder what happened to Baumanis. It's interesting that he didn't want to drive the car back. Now, to me, it didn't look critically damaged, but sometimes you don't want to drive it back, so you don't want to do any more damage.
I wonder if he wasn't in traffic, that the car was possibly overheating, maybe. That could be another option, being stuck behind cars the whole way and not getting air to cool the car down.
Scheider up onto the final grid position, and that's going to allow us to get things underway. Right, here we go then, on to Q3 Race 3. 5 cars on the grid lined up, good to go. Sebastian Loeb, the winner of Q1, Anton Markland, Kevin Hansen, Gerland Schischerit and Timo Scheider. Interestingly, Sebastian Loeb is on new tyres. Now, I'll tell you why that's interesting, because these guys were saying to me yesterday The Peugeot is unbelievable on new rubber. Now, we thought, would they save some rubber for the semi-finals? But don't forget, last event of the year, they've been able to carry over tyres from the very first 2 events. We weren't sure whether they've used them at the hot events like Kota or the abrasive events like France or Latvia. So either way, Peugeot have gone for new boots on Loeb's car on this one, so expect fireworks. Right. Nearly ready to go, so we've got a little bit of a clear up going up somewhere else on the track, unfortunately. That's a bit of a shame.
Andrew, just an update from me as well. He's got the pole position, which is perfect. Gets a good start on new rubber, clean race. That's going to be good. So I'd be really, I think this is the right call for them, because they know they've got to get themselves on the front row when they get into semi-finals, you know, to have a good go at PSRX team.
It's going to be interesting though, isn't it? Can PSRX save some rubber for the semi-finals and mean Peugeot can't get past? Okay, we've got oil on track apparently, we're hearing. Okay, which would suggest Balmanis transmission or engine. So Balmanis pulled up in turn 1 just over here. And in fact, I think I can see a pool of liquid. You see, Maurice, between the 2 white lines just over there on the far side. There we go, yeah, so you can see the fluid there. So if that's oil, then either Balmanis had an engine or a transmission issue. Now, either of those things are relatively big fixes. It's not the engine would be a problem, because to change an engine before Q4 could see him not take part in Q4. He did make the finish, so he's not got a DNF at least. We know he's going to be low. Where was Balmanis overnight? He was right up in P8 with a 5th and an 11th. So
yeah, he wasn't running well. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's good. He was running well. Yeah, he was. P8's great. So he was,
but his second race yesterday, he didn't quite have the pace. He had the good starts. My concern is I wonder about the higher temperature now. There isn't much wind blowing around. You wonder about the cars running in close traffic like he was. Perhaps things are getting heated up.
So Neil Cole is down with Andreas Backerud. We're going to have a chat with him, but in the meantime, we'll keep an eye on this track clean-up for you and let you know what's going on.
So Andreas, there's a little bit of a delay out on the track today. Tell us what you can learn from those first 2 races and how this track has evolved before you race today.
Well, first of all, they put a lot of dust decks on the track from yesterday to today to help for the dust. So it looks a little bit more slippery, especially in the second part of the track, and they don't go sliding sideways so much as we did yesterday, and especially at the exit of, let me see on my map, turn 6-7. It's important to have a straight car and to calm it down a little bit more before you go on gas.
I love the fact you've got a map on your steering wheel, sellotape there. I mean, how much do you look at that when you're actually racing?
Well, it's good to have for when you get information on the radio, what corner to improve and so on, and also chatting when we are on the line, waiting for to go, and also feedback to the team so that everyone is on the same paper.
Well, don't look at it too long because it sends you cross-eyed, clearly. It's a big day for you because the potential to be second in the championship, go to the FIA Gala, pick up some more silverware and pick up a good drive for next year. So no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. And also the guys are coming fast from behind. So I need a good result anyway. So we will go hard.
Good luck, Andreas.
Thank you.
So turn 1 clean-up looks to have been completed, and that should mean that we can get this one underway. We'll wait for the marshals to be clear, and then we'll head off. Okay, let's take a look at the lineup then for Q3 Race 3. Loeb on the inside from Anton Markland, Kevin Hansen, Gulan Schischrit and Timo Scheider. Loeb, look, overnight TQ, but has chosen to put new tyres on the car. Now, they said in the press conference yesterday this car is exceptional on new rubber, but we'll have a chat during this race about what that might mean for the semi-finals. Okay, so 2 sets of teammates in this one. Markland and Schischrit, Hansen and Loeb. Scheider on the outside, doesn't need to worry about any team orders or any team safety. Just loves rallycross and said this morning he's going to send it. Let's see if he does. Markland creeping, just about holds on, but loses out big time at the start. Loeb on the inside with a great start. Kevin Hansen slots in behind him. Loeb with a massive hole shot down towards turn 1. Schischrit's not going to be able to get around the outside of that. Timo Scheider's trying to go around the outside of the whole pack. Where's Scheider going to slot in, or is he going to get marked at turn 2? Should be on the inside for turn 3, but he loses out, drop back. He might get 4th. Sebastian Loeb, though, with the whole shot, and that is what he needed.
That is what I said to you. He's got Q1 position. He's on new rubber. If he gets a clean start, he can make sure that his timing is going to be right up at the top, lining him up for good grid position heading into Q4.
Now, we said these cars are exceptional on new rubber, but remember, they only get 8 tyres a weekend unless they've managed to somehow save a pair from earlier in the season. They got 12 at the first 2 rounds. We know that Loiat was abrasive. We know Latvia was abrasive. We know Kota was hot. Have Peugeot managed to save a couple of tyres at the end of the year, or are they trying to secure a place on the front of the grid? Because Marius, I thought they would save new rubber for the semis because they want to be on the front row for the final if they want to beat Volkswagen.
But perhaps it is making sure that they've got the advantage going into the semi as well. Look, we don't know what PSRX has, so we'll see that in a
lap
little time.
of the day.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. So here we go. Here
and
we go.
40.3. That's pretty much what they were running this morning in the warm-up. But interesting that Scheider got past Chicherit through turn 3 and still chose to go for the Joker lap. So I think he's now obviously got some clean air in front of him and chasing down Marklin, who's shown great pace. These GCK cars have done well this weekend. Marklin's been on the pace, 7th fastest in Q2 yesterday. So the guys certainly have got those Renault Megans working well.
So Sebastian Loeb, 2 40.3s in a row, so he's absolutely flying. Fastest lap yesterday was Timmy Hansen, which was a 40.3.
Have a look at Timo Scheider, 41.2. That is unbelievable.
40.3s for Loeb, 2 in a row. He's matching the quickest lap from yesterday. So this is all about Loeb and whether or not he can take the TQ. So can he hold on to that position that he had overnight, down towards the bottom hairpin again? Him and Kevin Hansen electing to wait for the joke at the end. Here goes Markland. So watch for Markland at the merge. He's fighting with Timo Scheider on the inside line. Oh, this one will be close. Markland should have good exit speed here. Watch for the merge. Scheider's a little bit sideways, and Markland's got it easily.
And we actually heard Andres Bakuru talking about it just before this race, about how important it is to have that car pointed straight during 7 and 8. And Timo wasn't.
40.3 for Loeb again. Loeb has banged in 3 40.3s in a row. That's as quick as this track has gone all weekend. Sebastian Loeb with 3 in a row, aiming for the fastest time of the weekend so far, but certainly aiming for the fastest time here in Q3 Sunday morning. Goes to the Joker. Kevin Hansen going to go with him. Target time 2:53.2. Yes, they did a 2:51.0 and a 2:51.2 with the winning times. I think Loeb might go quicker than that with those bales on the inside of turn 1. Here we go then. Up to the crest dip chicane. Sebastian Loeb aiming to destroy the timesheets. 2:49.6. Fastest time of the weekend to Sebastian Loeb. Goes top of Q3, 42.7. That's the quickest Joker lap we've seen all weekend as well, by 0.3 of a second. Loeb has absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark.
He couldn't have wanted a better race. New rubber Q1. He did exactly what he needed to do. That's amazing.
Unbelievable. If you're going to put new tyres on it,
make it work.
Exactly.
Crowd's loving it.
They should be. That is a masterclass. Christopherson will have to absolutely go hell for leather to beat Sebastian Loeb. 2:49.6. Kevin Hansen P2, Markland P3, Scheider P4 and Shisha at P5. But this is it. Look, Loeb to the top of the table. Both the Peugeots, in fact, to the top of the table. Interesting, Kevin Hansen not that much quicker than Timozyanov. Timozyanov may be dragging himself up into the semi-finals. We've only got 5 cars to go, so he's definitely going to get a P8 here. But Sebastian Loeb, fastest time of the weekend. His second time that he's at the top of the tables, but of course he's got 5 cars still to come. That includes Christopherson, Solberg, Ekstrom, Hansen and Backward. So all to play for with 1 race to go. Let's hear from Loeb.
Sebastian, every lap was quick, it was consistent. That's got to be as close to perfection as you can get.
Yeah, it was a good run again. I could take the lead in the first corner. I was very secure in the first corner not to be overtaken because it can be sometimes tricky, and after that, good rhythm, good push, no big mistake, so it was a good one.
Well done, thank you.
Take a look back at the start. Absolutely hooked up, look, and as he said, he was secured to be not passed in the first corner.
Well, that was critical. He had the line in. Turn 1 we know is the quickest line. New rubber. To have a look at Timo Scheider trying to go around the outside. Being aggressive here, trying to hold on that position, but this is where him and Shisha got held up, and he chose to go for that Joker lap early, but Loeb, just precision, pinpoint accuracy and driving. Nice having your teammates supporting you as well.
Yeah, not really in any danger, was he? A Scheider, I think, if he'd been a couple of metres further forward on the exit of turn 1, he might have been able to make that work. But have a look at this from Sebastian Loeb. We saw 3 perfect laps on the standard lap. In here, look. Interesting. No, okay, fine. So, gets it stopped, anchored up, gets it straight. It's what Hansen was trying to do yesterday, but Loeb made it to the apex, and that's the difference. And he takes the fastest Joker lap of the weekend as well. Brilliant drive by Loeb. Can anyone beat him in the last race of Q3?
So having a look at the supercar top.
Great stuff during qualifying here, absolutely fantastic. We've got one race still to come during Q3, and in that one we've got Petter Solberg and Timmy Hansen. So let's take a look at their stats for the season so far. So a couple of rallycross legends then now. Timmy Hansen, pretty much a career rallycross driver. Solberg, of course, starting in rallying before becoming a double world rallycross champion after his rally title. Look at that up and down season, pretty even in terms of where their events have gone well and badly. 32 times they've met on track, 53% of the time it's gone Solberg's way. But let's have a look at the breakdown of the various parts of the weekend. 19-17 in qualifying. Hansen with 3 wins to 2 on the semi-finals. Neither of them has taken a win yet. Can they do it here at the last round in South Africa? Cannot wait for this. 5 cars aiming for what is undoubtedly a benchmark run from Sebastian Loeb. Is it going to need new tyres to beat it? I actually think it is. I'm having an opinion on this. I think it's going to need new boots if you want to beat that time.
This is a nice way to actually really mess with the guys' heads now.
Right, let's take a look then at the grid for the final race of Q3. On the inside, the world champion, Johan Kristoffersen, double world champion, retaining that title. 10 wins out of 11. He's aiming for 11 out of 12 here. His teammate Solberg next to him. Ekstrom in the middle of the grid, Timmy Hansen and Andreas Backerud. We've got 2 new tyres on the outside for Kristoffersen. Will that be enough for him to beat the time of Loeb? If it is, pretty ominous for them for the rest of the weekend. Of course, he's got to get the job done down to turn 1, and that low rumble of these fantastic rallycross cars. Been a brilliant World Championship season, and you're about to see 5 of the best go down to turn 1. Low rumble from these factory spec cars on the way down to the first corner. Kristoffersen with a good start. Ekstrom's made a bit of space. Solberg slots in behind. Backward goes round. Hansen's going to try around the outside in the Peugeot. He's picked up understeer on the exit. I don't think he'll manage to get past Kristoffersen, but he's sideways up the inside of Solberg into P3. Hansen managed to get P3, so Kristoffersen knows with the whole shot. This is now Kristoffersen, the double world champion, versus Loeb, the 9-time world rally champion, for top time in Q3.
And you picked it up. We're going to see now if he can match Loeb's time with only 2 new tyres on the left-hand side. As you said, it's going to be tough for the rest to beat him. But Timmy Hansen did it around the outside.
Yeah, great move.
Petter Solberg immediately went behind his teammate. So that is a move that is possible this weekend. The drivers have got a lot to consider now that turn 1 is clean.
Really good from Kristoffersen. 40.1.
Wow, he's on it straight away.
2 tenths faster, so Kristoffersen's gone 2 tenths quicker, fastest lap of the day for Johan Kristoffersen. It is absolutely on between him and Sebastian Loeb. He'll know what he needs to do. Up and over the jump, perfectly straight. You can hear them hit the limiter and then come down. There's a little miniature crest after it and a bit more airborne again. So Kristoffersen is chasing that time. He means business.
And good to see Solberg and Backerud have jokered early, giving themselves a clean track so they can chase down the leaders. So it's going to turn into a very, very close merge on the last lap.
Great spot. And Solberg, of course, giving himself the same amount of clear space that Kristoffersen's got. First lap 44.0. Sebastian Loeb's joker was quicker than that last time out. So Hansen on a big push too. Timmy Hansen in behind. Kristoffersen 1.5 back. 40.0. Oh my goodness me. He's taken another 10th off the fastest lap. This is unbelievable for Kristoffersen. No wonder the number 1's on the side of the car. Incredible.
But what a race. Matthias Ekstrom all over the back of Timmy Hansen as well. So this is going to go down to the wire for sure. And we know Matthias, such a good circuit racer, getting the car pinpoint on the line, putting a lot of pressure on Timmy.
I'm surprised Ekstrom didn't go joker, because with the pressure from behind him, and I guess he's worried he's going to drop in behind me.
He should have gone. Solberg at 40.3, so he is making up some good time. Backerud is going with him with a 40.3 in the last lap.
39.9.
That is unbelievable time. 39. I mean, the last time we saw 39 was in practice on Saturday, and that was Matthias Ekstrom. We haven't seen it in a race. There's unbelievable results. But this is what we predicted heading into that last lap, the merge. Have a look. Johan has obviously gone for the joker. This is going to be brilliant.
So sorry there, minor technical issue on sound, but Kristoffersen still leading this one, 39.9 on lap 3, heading down towards the finish line. We're looking at the merge as well. Oh, Hansen manages to get Solberg super close between them, but what time is Kristoffersen going to set? Coming over the line, 2:48.5. Kristoffersen has done it. Unbelievable. 2:48.5. He does it by more than a second. We thought Loeb had done just the most perfect run possible, and somehow the world champion has done it again. After P16 yesterday in Q1, he took Q2 and he takes Q3. The world champion fighting back as he always does. He wants that 11th win. He is incredible. Brilliant drive, Johan Kristoffersson. Absolutely brilliant drive.
Are we allowed to applaud in the commentary box?
Yeah, we can do it. You can do what you like
Man,
up here.
that was amazing.
That is 3 fastest laps in a row to manage to take, as well as what's the Joker? And the
Joker too was a
Joker as well.
42.7.
So it's not only has he knocked tenths off the standard lap, he's knocked a couple of tenths off the Joker as well. Kristoffersson with only 2 new tyres on the car, meaning he's definitely got another pair left to play later. Goes to the top of the table. Look, Sebastian Loeb so close, but not enough. Timmy Hansen P3, then Solberg, Ekstrom, Bakker, Hansen, and Timers Yarnov with a good result. Will that be enough to see the Russian go through to the semi-finals?
Johan, we thought Sebastian's time was good, but you smashed it and you just did a little fist pump. We can see how much it means to you when you get a race like that.
Yeah, that was really good. First of all, I had a great launch again. And yeah, I put 3 new tires because I was a little bit off the back foot from yesterday. So I really needed a good time here to be able to fight for the top qualifying spot. So I saw Timmy was P2. It's going to be a tight battle in Q4 as well, but I'm in a good position. Launches are great, and we did some small changes to the car, so it's feeling really good.
But just talk us through that lap a little bit. If you're hitting all the apexes right and all the grip is right, how did you get it so quick compared to yesterday?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's all about the details beforehand going into the race, and we did some changes before this race on the warm-up to try something, and yeah, the car felt really, really good, and when it feels good, I can push as much as I can with no mistakes. I was really on the edge in the Joker lap, but I think that was just perfect.
Well done, thanks, Johan.
Thank you.
Well, just perfect is about right, isn't it? Look at this, Kristoffersson on the inside. Nice angle from the start there for us to see as well that it was equal between him and Ekstrom. Bakker slotted in behind. In fact, the 2 teammates slotted in behind. Timmy went for the round the outside, but he didn't quite get enough turning, it seems, Marius.
But what happened is Matthias had a good start, but Timmy actually came from the outside and squeezed him and lined that up. So that is now an option for the guys going around the outside. But I cannot believe how quick and smooth Johan Kristoffersson is showing his class. Double world champion for very good reasons.
Absolutely brilliant drive by him. Knocking tenths off the standard lap, knocking tenths off the Joker lap, knocking 1.1 second off the time of Sebastian Loeb. We thought it was unbeatable. It turns out, of course, it wasn't. There's only one person who's unbeatable at the minute, and that is Johan Kristoffersson. Is that a sign he's going to make 11 out of 12? Here you go then, these are the standings after Q3. Sebastian Loeb, in fact, is still the top qualifier at this point, but we've seen the pace of Johan Kristoffersson. After that disaster in Q1, he wins Q2 and Q3 to drag himself up to P2. Timmy Hansen and Solberg, so we've got 2 Peugeots and 2 Volkswagens in the top 4. We then have the 2 Audis, P5 and P6. So at the minute, the Audis on equal qualifying points and, of course, fighting for P2 in the championship are going to be on row 2 in the semi-finals. They will desperately want to make it up to the front row. Kevin Hansen 7th, Anton Markland doing well down in 8th. But of course, this is the pace that matters. Timers Yarnov, great job, dragged himself up from 15th to 9th. Baumanis has held on to 10th. Can they get that car fixed in time for Q4? Ericsson and Scheider. So Schischerick, Gronholm, Larsen and Munich knocking on the door to try and make it through. And look, it's super tight on the points. It's anyone's to get through to the top 12.
Well, we are set up for a battle royale. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back very soon for qualifying 4 at this incredible circuit. So it's 60% super smooth asphalt and 40% this lovely red dust and gravel. And whoever gets it right, and you can see that at the moment it's Loeb and Kristoffersson head to head. And who's going to take the spoils at the end of today? The grand finale of the 2018 season. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Marius and Andrew Coley and the whole TV team. We'll be back very soon for qualifying 4. So make sure you're with us and share it with your friends. Bye-bye. Bye.